Chris, for you personally, I guess 2016 was another strong year. Where does it rank in terms of years in your career?
Yeah, I suppose it's a bit different in some respects, being my first sort of full season in the back row. I played plenty of positions in my time, but having a full year in the back row, I definitely felt I learnt a lot and continue to improve my game, and looking forward to sort of going up another notch in 2017.
There'd always kind of been talk of that move being on the cards. I guess, was it nice to finally make that move and I guess settle in quite quickly?
Oh yeah, definitely. It was sort of good. Obviously, there's the couple of years beforehand, obviously wanting to try and make the move, but doing what's best for the team at that point remained at the centre. So it was good to get that opportunity in the back row and get a full year there and to continue to develop my game.
Were there any difficult parts in that transition at all for you?
Oh, I think having a few games in the 2015 season definitely helped. Just getting your head around doing those extra tackles and not getting a break and playing 80 minutes in the back row week to week. Just playing consistent footy, that's probably the hardest thing. Having to get through those tough times in the game, in the back row, in the outside backs. You definitely work hard, but there's points in the game where you do get a good rest, but it's non-stop in the forwards, so you don't really get much of a break. So just trying to get used to getting through those tough periods and coming out the other side and doing that consistently week to week.
A couple of personal notes for you in 2016. I guess the first of all, captaining the side a number of times with Dean Hallertau, something you've done before, but I guess what does it mean to you to do that?
Yeah, it's pretty special to be able to captain at any club, but let alone the club that I played my first game at, and I've been here all my life, so pretty special and a great honour, and to do it with someone, with a good mate like Dean Hallertau was special as well.
Captain the City Origin side as well. I guess, how did you find that week and the game as well?
Yeah, the week's always good. A couple of times now that I got to play in the City Country Games, always an enjoyable week, especially with Freddie as coach. And again, another honour, an unexpected one to be named as captain, but a really enjoyable week, and to get the win as well when it was unexpected with a great bunch of blokes, it was really good as well.
Re-signing during the year was a big moment for you and a proud one. What was it about the current position of the team that was most exciting for you?
Oh, I could just see that we've got so many young guys here, and everyone talks about the young guys we've got here, and I could just see that midway through, and particularly at the start of last year, even though we're losing a few games, that those guys were starting to mature, and I could see that there were good times coming for the club. And obviously we've had some tough times over the last few years, and I've really tried to work hard on and off the field to help get this club back to where I believe we should be, and I didn't want to do all that sort of hard work and not reap the benefits, so to speak. So I can see there's good times ahead, and I want to be a part of that.
Missing the finals narrowly against Canberra was obviously a tough one to take. What did you learn from that run leading into it, but also I guess coming out of that game too?
Well, I think looking back at now, I think it's a blessing in disguise. As much as we would have obviously loved to make the finals, we finished the year strong, but it was a good sort of reality check that we still aren't where those top teams are, and there's no point in making the finals and just being being there as numbers. We showed that Canberra towered us up, and a few weeks earlier Penrith, who went through to to a couple of weeks in the semis, also did the same. So we're not far off, but those top teams, those top four teams, when they're in form, we're a little bit of a gap behind them. So I think for us that was that motivation, knowing we're not far off, but we can go that extra level, and that's probably provided that bit of extra motivation in this pre-season for us.
A new year and new players arriving at the club. How much does someone like Jamal Idris change things?
Yeah, Jam has been really good for us. Come with such a fresh, positive attitude, and he's a real character amongst the team. And he just is someone that brings so much experience as well. For someone who's only young, I mean, he's played for Australia, played Origin, and he brings a real X factor about him. Particularly, anywhere in the team, in the forwards and outside backs, he can really, provide that X factor, but experience, which is something obviously we've probably lacked that experience in the last few years. Having such a young squad, so having another experienced head around that knows how to play in big games, knows how to win games, has just been invaluable to the team.
A few players moving on this year, and yourself and Matt Ballin are probably the two standout senior guys in the squad now. I guess, do you enjoy that responsibility?
Yeah, definitely. Enjoy the responsibility of being the senior guy and leading by example. Having those younger guys coming through and always there to offer advice in any way I can to help them on and off the field, and anything that's going to make the team stronger. And for me, I try to lead, with my actions and show the way to do it on and off the field.
You don't play rugby league for the records and milestones, absolutely, but I guess for you, 2017, two big ones potentially in store. 200 NRL games and the all-time top try scorer at the club are both just around the corner. Is that exciting for you to know that that's potentially ahead?
Well, not so much as try scorers, because I reckon Teddy will probably overtake me pretty quickly. So even if I happen to get that this year, I don't think it'll be too long before Teddy or some of the other outside backs overtake that mark. But I suppose the 200 games is always special. If I get to achieve that this year, I played I think 190 odd now. So when you're sort of young coming through, you hope you play a season, let alone get to 200 games, and especially when you go through a run of injuries, you don't really think ahead on how many games you're going to play. So obviously won't look at it too much at the time, but something that at the end of the season or obviously when I retire, I'll look back at it pretty fondly.
When you look at this squad, I guess you've been there in the finals and you know what teams that play in the finals need to be like. Does this team have what it takes?
Yeah, I do. I definitely think we do. I think, as I said, that's the end of last year, I think, is going to be a blessing in disguise. We played some really good footy, as I said, at the back end of the year, but in those big games we were off. And I think coming back, the first 6 weeks pre-Christmas, it's just a lot sharper. Everything we do is being sharper. It's more mature. What we're doing is up another level, and same since we've been back after Christmas. So, if we can translate what we're doing on the training field into the games, then I'm sure we'll take it to another level.
I guess lastly, mate, how are you approaching 2017 from a personal point of view?
For me personally, again, just trying to work on my game, work individually to improve the little things that I wasn't happy about in my game last year, or things that I want to get better at, and that's just by doing that week in, week out. Obviously want to be consistent. I think that's the one thing that as a senior player I need to be consistent. With younger guys in the squad, you can sometimes forgive them for being inconsistent, even though they're now those guys are becoming more experienced. But for me to lead by example, I have to do that first, playing consistently good footy week in, week out. And as a team, if we collectively do that, then we're going to have a lot of wins and give ourselves a chance to play finals footy.